Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? In this video, we're going to be talking about the best characters for the SAM number 15. And we're starting off with the special Shinobi. Now, if you want to skip the special Shinobi, if you got unlucky with all of your summons this month, you can skip all of these special Shinobi comparisons we're going to be doing right here and skip all the way to the non-special Shinobi. You have just to go to the timing you're going to see right now on the screen. So there's a time right now on the screen. You just click on it in the video and just go to it. You will be able to start with the non-special Shinobi list. And yeah, let's start comparing the special Shinobi first here. Now we have Hidan, we have Kabuto, and we have Neji as special Shinobi this month. I'm not sure whether we're gonna get Conan tomorrow or not yet, but in case she gets released tomorrow, I'm telling you right now, she's gonna be better than all of them. But let's compare the three that we have for now. So Hidan gets the highest multiplier in his ultimate. He gets 5 times the damage when you use him in the SAM. So his ultimate level 1 has 4,800 damage. Sorry. And going into the SAM, the 4,800 gets multiplied by 5. So he has 24,000 damage in his ultimate. Now, Neji and Kabuto get only 3 times the damage, so Kabuto at level 1 has 6,000 damage, the highest in the game. 3 times by that would be 18,000. So 18,000 damage, it's not bad, but it still does a lot of damage. And then Neji, which is kind of the lowest multiplier you can actually think of. It has, he has around 4,000 damage, I believe. And or not 4,000, more like 4,200, something like that. And when you multiply it, it will be like 14,400 damage or something like that. So Neji kind of have the lowest damage multiplier, or not multiplier, but the result out of the multipliers. So basically, he then has the highest, and then Kabuto after that, then Neji at the end. Then we will be comparing them with the points multiplier, because that's one more thing that is very relevant to the ranking here when we talk about the best characters here. So he then gets the best points multiplier this SAM. Normally it's only one character that gets that. Last time it was Shisui, and the one before that it was Tsunade. They get 30% of the damage they deal as points. So the one that gets that this time is Hidan. Then we have both, Kabuto and Neji. They only get 20% of the damage they deal as points. And of course, the non-special Shinobi get only 10%. So again, Hidan wins in this part. But then when we talk about the actual practical playing, it seems like Neji is doing the highest damage if you have his full recut, because you can basically boost his damage by using his other 2 new ninjutsu from his recut. So if you use his ninjutsu where he seals the enemy after the SAM boss attacks him, he will be actually doing double the damage then. And of course, if you make the enemy even more weak to impact nature, which is only 10% weak, by the way, in this SAM, you can do even more damage. So you can use his other ninjutsu that weakens the enemy's impact nature, and then you can actually do, like, I think like 10% extra more damage or 20% extra more damage. So yeah, basically if you have his recut, if you have Neji's full recut and you know how to use them, you will most likely be able to do the most amount of damage here, which is around 2 million damage just from level 1 ultimate. Of course, you need the 4 kunai, the yellow kunai, and you need the highest attack possible, and you'll be able to get around 2 million damage with one hit from his level 1 ultimate. Now, by the way, some people in the top leagues are actually using Neji. Like, let's go here over the top league. Yeah, I don't think he's there anymore. He doesn't play that much anymore. Oh, Kino. So he used to be rank 4, now he's rank 32. So he's from my guild. He's using level 7 ultimate for Neji. He doesn't play that much as the top 10, of course. But yeah, basically he is using level 7 ultimate for Neji. And he can do 5 million plus with his Neji's ultimates. I believe Clutch, I'm not sure if he's still there. Yeah, he's in top 3. He's using Kabuto. So Kabuto can do actually around 2 million damage as well if you use it Right. Now, just like Neji, but Neji is much easier because with Neji's setup, it's actually much easier because when you seal the enemy basically doesn't move anymore. He just like the Ninetales keeps hitting you with his hands. But for Kabuto, you need to actually hit the Ninetales as he moves towards you, and you have to calculate the distance. It has to be like a medium distance, not so far away and not so like it's like right before he stops. So you can basically like attack multiple parts of his body when you do the explosion thing from your ultimates. So I would say the next or the second best is probably Caputo, damage wise, and then there is Hidan, who probably is not really that great because of the fact that his ultimate is really fast. The animation is really fast, and it almost never hits more than one hit. And even though it has like better multiplier in damage and better multiplier in points, it's still like I would say they're all in the same level. And the reason why he then got these multipliers is to put him in the same level as the other two. But I think all of them are actually in the same level if you know how to use them carefully and the right way. Alright, now moving on to the non-special shinobi, the thing that most people here are waiting for. The best character for this Sam that is not a special shinobi is actually Wandering Sasuke. Now you have to use the Planetary Devastation ultimate because it's an impact nature ultimate, does 5 times the damage, and you have to use it right, of course, because it's like between all of the multi-hit ultimates, it's really hard to get all of the hits on the right or the weak spot because you know the range is just a little bit too far away from you, and you just have to like be in some kind of distance away from the sandbox before you use it. But yeah, that's not the whole thing about it. Like it's not just the ultimate that is useful, but your full kit from the old and the new kit, the Inferno style, which debuffs the enemy's defense, and then the manipulated shurikens, and of course the Almighty Bush. All of these do damage to the sandbox. Now the Inferno style doesn't really do damage because I believe it's release or annihilation nature. But what you need from that is just the defense debuff effect, and then you can use the manipulated shurikens and of course the Almighty Bush to do some extra damage to the enemy boss. I would say just go with the manipulated shurikens. You don't really need the Almighty Bush that much. You will probably most likely use the manipulated shurikens more than the other Almighty Bush. But even if you don't have the ultimate, you can still use the Inferno style for the defense debuff and the manipulated shurikens and Almighty Bush, and you will do a lot of damage anyway. So that's why Sasuke is in the best position this Sam as a non-special shinobi, and he is doing great, to be honest. Alright, so the second best this Sam is most likely Sasori because his ultimate does the most damage in the game. Even though he's not a special shinobi, he does pretty much almost the same level, same damage as any of the special shinobi. But of course, because of his ultimate being 120 seconds, it does double the damage that any other character with 60 seconds ultimate would do. So yeah, basically his ultimate does the highest damage, even more than Sasuke's ultimate. But yeah, it just that's everything he does with his kit. The rest of his kit is basically useless. Nothing in his kit basically does extra damage because it's just resisted. Like all of the other natures are resisted, and even the poison effect is really hard to do on the Ninetales. The only possible way to do it all the time if you are using Caputo's poison swamp, because it keeps hitting the enemy multiple times and eventually it gives it the poison. But for Sasori, it's just not easy because, well, his skills are just basically just one hit, and they will most likely not inflict the poison on the enemy anyway. So yeah, I would say if you are going to be using Sasori, just use his ultimate and give him the rest of the cards, attack cards, and then do as much damage as possible, and then wait until your ultimate comes back to you with the cooldown, and then use it again. That's how you do the most damage with Sasori. Now, the third best for this Sam is most likely Hashirama because, well, he has the wooden golem that does 5 times the damage and it debuffs the enemies or weakens the enemy's impact nature. That would be really great if you actually have, let's say, a Neji in your team as well, because Neji will make him even weak. And then you will be using your ultimate, which does 5 times the damage and it's impact nature, so it doesn't do as much damage as Sasori's and Sasuke's ultimates, but still does really good damage and can be used enough to kill the enemy eventually in 2 or 3 rounds. And you have also the wooden dragon that seals the enemy, so you will have less trouble from the Nine Tails, and you can also do some damage because it's manipulate nature. The dragon is manipulate nature, so it does some extra damage there. Coming up in the fourth place, Tobirama, the second Hokage. So after the first Hokage comes the second Hokage, and Tobirama has an ultimate that does pretty much multiple hits. It's only 60 seconds cooldown. You can do most of the time 3 times the damage because of the fact that the range in all of his 4 hits are pretty huge. And the thing is, the animations from his ultimate are actually like pretty long, I would say, like 1 to 2 seconds. And that means if the sand boss moves inside the water dragon ultimate, they will be hit on the other side, on the other parts as well. So that's why Tobirama is in the fourth place. He does multiple hits. He has only 60 seconds cooldown ultimate, and his ultimate animation has a long time that lets the sand boss get hit on multiple parts. Coming up in the fifth place, Sakura. Now, Sakura with any of her ultimates and her full kit is actually doing great. Now, you can use any of her ultimates because they are both impact nature. You can use her summoning jutsu, which is manipulate nature, to do damage and debuff the enemy's defense with medium effect. Plus, you can use her kick thing, which is also impact nature, and they all do a lot of damage. You can actually just spam her summoning jutsu and the kick, and you keep doing damage over and over again without even needing an ultimate. So Sakura is, in my opinion, in the top 5. If not, you can just put her in the top 10. She's still very useful, even though you don't need an ultimate there. Coming up in the sixth place, Bane. So Bane has actually 2 ultimates. One of them is manipulate nature, the other is impact nature. Both of them are actually useful. Plus, he has a defense debuff in his universal ball. He has manipulate nature attack that is the summoning jutsu, plus an impact nature attack, which is the almighty bush in his ninjutsus. So basically, almost all of his kit is actually perfect. So what you want to do here is to use Bane with the best ultimate you have for him. And I would say I think the manipulate nature, the planetary devastation one, is probably the better one. And then you will just have to grind the rest using your ninjutsu. So universal ball to debuff the enemy, then use your other ninjutsu to do extra damage to the sand boss. So Bane Tendo in the 6th place, or at least top 10. Alright, from now on, I'm not just gonna rank characters anymore. I'm just gonna tell you what you should probably use if you don't have any of the other characters. And we're talking now about Shisui, we're talking about Hokage and Naruto. Both of them have ultimates that are featured for the SAM, or not featured, they just have the nature that is featured. So Shisui with his ultimate is manipulate nature. He has huge critical hit rates, and he has also the damage over time effect. So he does not just damage using his ultimate, but also with the damage over time effect that he has after using his ultimate. There's also Hokage Naruto, who sadly only has his ultimate useful in his kit, and it doesn't really do that much damage. It just still has a very high hit rate, and it has like 1.3% or 1.3 of the actual standard damage, so it does some occasional damage. And it has a defense debuff as well, even though you will not have anything else after using the ultimate to do damage with it after you debuff the enemy, but still, it's useful. Then we have other characters that are pretty much never resisted, and I would say these are actually, or might be better than than the characters that I've just mentioned, like Koga Naruto and Shisui. This will be Might Guy with his Herodora and Killer Bee with his Bijou Bomb. These are never resisted. You can always use them in every single SAM. You don't ever worry about the featured resistance or the featured nature or the weakness or whatever. They can always do the full damage, and if you have their ultimates at high level, they will do even more damage. So they're a really good investment, by the way. If you have like multiple copies of their ultimates, you can always level them up and use them every SAM without a problem. So these characters are also useful. You can use characters that we got for free in other SAMs like Timari. You can use Boruto. Both of their ultimates are manipulate nature. They don't do that much damage, but they are pretty much the best you can do because they're both red type characters which have huge attack multiplier, so they will be doing some good damage even if you have their ultimate at only level 1 or low level in general. So yeah, there is like a lot of other good characters that you can use that won't do that much damage, but yeah, they're just still, not in the same level as the other ones. But you can go ahead and use Gara, so, for example, with his Sand Burial ultimate, I think that was the name, if I'm not mistaken. You can use Itachi, by the way, with his shurikens. His shurikens do a lot of damage. Maybe not that much, but still, like, you can also use his the other ninjutsu. I can't remember the name, but it does damage over time effect. So basically, you have a lot of options. Any character that has the manipulate nature or the manipulate icon beside the name of their ninjutsu or their ultimate jutsu is pretty much usable. You can use, for example, someone like Zabuza with his vortex, water cell vortex jutsu or something, whatever it's called. Yeah, it's just there is a lot of options in the game. Just not all of the options can actually do that much damage, and you might be better off using even some ninjutsu over ultimates in the game. It's just you have to get them out at high level, and even the damage over time effect might be more useful than some of these characters or their ultimates. So you might as well just put the damage over time effect as some kind of something to consider. So maybe use the Fire Sword Jutsu for either Obito or Madara, or even for I forgot his name. Hirozen, right? Hirozen. Anyone that has damage over a time effect in their cats can actually be used there. So I guess that's basically it. I don't think there's anything that can be used now. I hope that I didn't miss anything. I'm missing like a couple of ultimates in the game, so I might have forgotten one of them to be added here. But I guess that's it. That's all about it, guys. So good luck to you actually getting that size ultimates. I don't think the competition is that hard this time. It will be quite hard if you don't have a special shinobi and not one of the top 3 special shinobi. That would be really bad, to be honest. But I think it's possible for a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people are playing this SAM. Some people just got the rewards, like the tickets and the shinobites at the beginning and just left. So yeah, you have a chance to be in the top 10, I guess, 10K. So yeah, good luck to all of you guys. I'll see you guys on the next video.